Blog Talk Radio.
You're listening to The Limo Show, presented by Towne, Livery. And here's your host, David Bastian.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to The Limo Show, coming to you live via the World Wide Web. My name is David Bastian, your host, bringing you The Limo Show each week on Blog Talk Radio. Now, I encourage anyone out there that's listening to the live stream to call the Limo Show hotline in the second half of the show. If you have any questions for myself or our guest tonight, you can reach us at the Limo Show hotline at 714-868-0786. That's 714-868-0786. We will also have a live chat window open for the entire show, so you can also reach us that way. Now, because of the overwhelming response to my first show, which was on St. Patrick's Day, we had almost 600 podcast listeners. Tonight, once again, we will be discussing the 2013 Lincoln MKT Town Car. Now, with the 2011 being the final year of production of the legendary Town Car, there's much concern in the limo-livery industry about Lincoln's livery vehicle of the future, the Lincoln MKT Town Car. Now, since the vehicle was introduced at the 2011 LCT show, many operators that I've been in contact have shared varying opinions of this new vehicle. The opinions that have been expressed have been all over the board. From my perspective, it's very hard to say which direction people are heading in, because some people some people love it, some people just don't like it, and then there's some people that are just pretty much saying, hey, let's wait and see how it goes. So it's hard to gauge what people are feeling, but because there is so much interest out there in the industry and people having so much questions and there's some misinformation out there, we felt it was very, very important to bring on an expert in this matter. So I'd like to help answer some of these questions, I'd like to introduce you to our special guest from Ford Motor Company. It's the Ford Fleet Marketing Manager, Mr. Gerry Koss. Gerry, how are you doing? Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Dave. I'm doing very well. I'm pleased to be able to join you today.
Well, that's great. That's great. Now, every day I get asked, and this is one of the questions that a lot of people have probably asked you, is why is the Lincoln Town Car going away? Now, Gerry, can you please share with the listeners why the current Town Car is going away?
Well, I think there's two reasons for that, Dave. Number one is obviously the Town Car, I guess I'm going to call it, I'll use the word platform quite a bit probably during the discussion. The Panther platform, which is our body-on-frame car platform chassis, has been around for obviously many years there. And over the course of time, our ability to take that platform and upgrade it to the latest technology or safety features makes it challenging and technically expensive. And coming up soon are changes in the FMVSS, Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standards requirements. And that would have required a very, very significant investment in this chassis just to bring it up to the base standards of FMVSS. And so the decision really was on in the limo-livery vehicles was, why not be able to offer this industry the latest in technology, in safety, in comfort, in everything that's changed over the past few years that we weren't able to bring into the Panther platform products. Now is the time to change. And we like to say for everything, the Town Car was the right vehicle for its time. But you know what? Times have changed, and it's time for us to be able to offer the industry, the drivers, the operators, and more importantly, the end-user customers, the latest in technology, safety, comfort, and those types of features. And that's what we're doing with the MKT Town Car.
I agree with the decision because the Lincoln Town Car was 1970s technology, and the nice thing about the new product you selected or Ford selected, I think it's definitely taking the technology aspect to today. Now, why was the MKT Town Car platform selected to be the successor of the Town Car?
Well, first of all, we took a look at what was the requirement for the industry, and the things that are the key requirements there are obviously reliability and durability, size. You need to have a good package for occupants, the driver, luggage, and such. And then one thing that, of course, is one of our pillars is safety. And then you can go into the pillars that we have. Let me just go. The pillars that we build our vehicles upon are quality, green, safe, and smart. So you start off with those four. Then you look at the industry, and you say, what does this industry need? Well, you need to have size, platform size for driver, occupants, and luggage. And our D platform, which is on many different variants out there, is our largest, safest, durable platform out there, and that's why it was decided that is the best one to meet the needs of this industry.
Now, at the LCT show, and some of our listeners out there attended the LCT show and saw that wonderful presentation that you gave with the official unveiling of the Lincoln MKT Town Car. And you explained at the LCT show why the Town Car name was retained for this model. Can you explain to the listeners who were not at this presentation why Ford chose to keep that name?
That's a great question, Dave. No decision was made on our next generation vehicles by Ford Motor Company by itself. Every decision we made was done via market research through the industry. And we interviewed owner-operators, we interviewed drivers. Most importantly, we interviewed end-user customers. And one of the last things we did before LCT was we did research with the end-user customers and the industry. And we gave them a list, I don't know off the top of my head how many, but I think it was somewhere in the neighborhood of, let's say, 8 to 10 names of what the next generation vehicles should be, the nameplate should be. And Town Car was the top choice amongst people within the industry and end user customers. And I know Brad Roney and I like to say, to some degree, there's certain names that become synonymous with a product, and ones that you can use are Kleenex for tissue paper or Jell-O for gelatin. Well, to be honest with you, Town Car has become synonymous with the limo-livery industry, and that's what we heard loud and clear from members of the industry and end-user customers, that they preferred to have it be name-plated. Obviously, the name of the vehicle is MKT, but to retain the Town Car nameplate for the limo-livery industry. So it wasn't done, a decision that was not made internally by Ford. The decision was made by the customers in the industry.
I agree with that decision because the Town Car name has been a legendary name, and I think to the limo operators out there, if they're going to make this transition from Town Car to the MKT Town Car, I think it'll make it much easier explaining to their customers, that, hey, this is the next generation of Town Car. Now, you talked a little bit, and you said you were going to talk about platforms. My first show, I got a caller that talked about platforms, and I've also gotten some emails about this. And the one question that I've been asked is that basically customers are asking me why Ford hasn't created a platform for livery and police similar to the Crown Vic and Town Car. Now, basically, how would you reply to that? And I guess they're made of what they call the D series platforms.
Right.
One is for the Lincoln MKT, and one is for the police interceptor. How are these two platforms similar or different?
Well, the D platform is used on multiple vehicles out there. I mean, it's the usage of this platform for the police and for the limo-livery industry are just an extension. They're the platforms for the Taurus, the platform for the Explorer, the platform for the MKT, the platform for the Flex. So this platform has been around in Ford Motor Company and our affiliates. I mean, it actually, I'm going to say, started off in our relationship with Volvo with the S80 and the XC90, which obviously Volvo has a history of, safety and those types of items. So this platform is on multiple products across the world, just across the globe. So that's number one. So you ask why, and for anybody who attended the LCT show or the summit understood. One of the biggest question we get asked is, okay, what's the price going to be? And again, we can talk about that later, although, I won't, we haven't finalized everything that way.
I would like to know what the price is going to be.
Well,
I get asked every day.
let's stay on the platform discussion there.
No problem.
The limo industry is somewhere in the neighborhood of the mid-thousands type of a vehicle, limo-livery business, okay? 6, 7, depending on the year. The police industry is in the neighborhood of 60,000. I mean, you sit there and you combine everything together, and you're sitting there looking at a volume level that is somewhere in the neighborhood of, let's say, 50 to 70,000, depending on purchase cycle. The scale isn't there. The best part about the D platform is by offering it on multiple products, we're able to spread the investment cost of the platform across hundreds of thousands of vehicles. We already know it's a great platform. We know it's durable. We know it's reliable. We know it's safe. We know it can accommodate the technology that this industry wants to have. But by spreading the cost around hundreds of thousands versus tens of thousands, that is what enables us to have the scale that can ensure that the price of these vehicles will be in line with what this industry demands. So
now
we can certainly come out with a unique platform or a low-volume product, but then the industry has to say, I'm willing to spend significantly more money in order to have a unique vehicle simply for my industry. And we think we have the best of both worlds. We have the best product out there with all of the attributes that I spoke about, and I assure the industry, we will be bringing this to the market at a price that is going to be very, very much in line with what this industry needs.
Okay, now I'm going to switch to reliability and safety because that's a question that a lot of the listeners have out there. Now, what is Ford doing from an engineering or product development standpoint that will ensure that the MKT Town Car is going to deliver the same type of reliability and performance that the Lincoln Town Car is given to the limo-livery industry?
Yeah, very, very good. What's great about it is that this industry, both the limo-livery industry and the police industry, are managed by the same engineering group within Ford Motor Company. So when you think about it out there, that what are the two products that really rely on the reliability and durability of their vehicles? Obviously, the industry we're talking about, limo-livery, and just as important is the police industry. So we've been involved for the same period of time of developing both products on this platform. Our next generation police vehicles, the next generation sedan and utility, and the next generation limo-livery vehicles. We've done analysis. Our engineering team has been engaged. We've been working with the industry. We know what it takes to make these vehicles reliable, durable, to meet the needs of the industry. And our statement have been, our next generation vehicles for both police and limo livery will be as good or better than the products they replace, that being the Town Car and the Crown Victoria, in those key attributes. And
now, as far as safety,
that is what our objective is.
Great. Now, as far as safety, because at the LCT show, I had a few people ask me, and I don't get too much involved in the stretch side. I focus mainly on sedans, but I had some people express their concern over the safety of the new vehicle, in particular the stretch version. Now, will Ford, or has Ford already crash tested the stretch version of the MKT Town Car? Have they?
No, the element of stretch, obviously, let's talk about the two different vehicles. The livery product will be produced at the factory. So that's number one. It will come out of the factory just the same as the L model with the livery package. The stretched version, if we're talking about the limousine version, obviously those modifications are done by our quality vehicle modifiers, who we have great relationships with, and our engineering team is very much engaged in the discussions. What we do is we work closely with the modifiers in, making sure that their modification processes adhere to all of the requirements, FMVSS and everything else, and that's part of the QVM process. So we don't do it ourselves, since we don't do the stretched versions, but we are engaged in working with the modifiers to ensure that everything is done to the requirements. And Dave, that is no different than what it is with Town Car. We did not. Now, the Ford Motor Company was not responsible for crash testing the stretched versions of the Town Car. So the processes that we're using on the MKT Town Car is exactly the same as the processes we're using on the Lincoln Town Car sedan.
Now I was reading that the stretched chassis is going to be a heavy-duty one. What changes do they do to that chassis to accomplish, to make it more heavy-duty?
Well, first of all, we know everything. Obviously, being a stretched version and a larger version and everything like that it carries more weight. So what we've done with our limousine chassis, which is what will be produced at the factory, is, we're going to have unique wheels with extra load-bearing tires. We have an upgraded braking system, upgraded suspension, upgraded emission control system, upgraded steering. So you can just see everything on that is based on, what I'm going to call is the unique requirements of the stretch, the additional weight, the additional usage patterns, and as a result, all of the components that would be impacted by that will be upgraded to meet those requirements.
That's great. This is all good stuff. Now, we are speaking live with Gerry Koss, the Ford Fleet Marketing Manager, regarding the Lincoln MKT Town Car. Now, we'll be heading to break. Now is the time to get on board and ask Gerry about the Lincoln MKT Town Car, or if you have a question for myself, you can reach us at the Limo Show hotline, and the phone number is 714-868-0786. That's 714-868-0786. Now, when we would come back, we're going to open the phone lines up for you. You're listening to the Limo Show on Blog Talk Radio.
Would you like a marketing partner that not only understands marketing, but knows the transportation industry inside and out? Are you struggling to attract new customers, retain your current customers, or win back lost customers? If you find yourself saying yes to any of these questions, there's only one place to call. Call the marketing wizard of the limousine industry, Arthur Messina from Create-A-Card. Create-A-Card is the #1 supplier of business cards, marketing supplies, and promo items to the limousine industry of North America. Contact Create a Card today at 1-800-753-6867. That's 1-800-753-6867, so they can help transform your marketing and advertising into consistent sales-generating machines. You can also find us on the web at createacardinc.com. That's createacardinc.com.
Are you looking to add an Executive L Town Car to your fleet? If you are, call Towne Livery. Towne Livery is a franchise Ford, Lincoln, Chrysler, and BMW dealer that specializes in selling livery vehicles nationwide. Towne Livery is located in Buffalo, New York, and is able to ship your vehicle to you at an affordable price. So, when you think of livery vehicles, think of Towne Livery. Towne Livery can be reached at 800-730-3683. That's 800-730-3683. One-stop shopping at Towne Livery.
You're listening to The Limo Show on Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome back to the show. You are listening to The Limo Show, presented by Towne Livery, heard weekly on Blog Talk Radio. We have Gerry Koss from Ford Motor Company here with us today. Now, before we open up the phone lines, I just have a few more questions. Gerry, with the new Lincoln MKT Town Car, it has much more technology features over the current Town Car. While doing your market research, what features intrigued the members of the Limo Advisory Board?
Well, that was an interesting one, Dave, because we spent a lot of time on the technology aspects of the vehicle because, the ability to bring them in. And I thought it was very interesting at the LCT Summit that I attended in Chicago. Technology was in fact, it was the first, I think, session that was held on what do they see coming in the future. Now, I'm going to kind of go back and forth between what is deemed technology. Number one, I think the feature that the operators and everybody felt was most key was the availability of all-wheel drive. And as you know, I lived in Buffalo for a number of years with Ford, and I know what the climate is there. But the availability of all-wheel drive technology on the next generation vehicles is something that has just been very, very well accepted by the industry. The other ones that are out there are items such as Wi-Fi capability. That was one of the items that was brought up at the summit as to, is that a feature? And people saw that as the number one next generation feature that would be, available or desired to be available in the vehicles. And, of course, we will offer that with our next generation vehicles. Hands-free navigation, hands-free phone technology. It's just that all of the items that we're offering we will be offering in the vehicles are features that are becoming more mainstream in the products. Now you get to the other ones that are a little bit more out there in terms of reverse camera, especially when you're out there and backing up and things, reverse camera, reverse sensing systems, blind spot information systems. So that's the nice part about migrating from what I'm going to call the older platform to the new one is you're just able to bring so much into it, and operators will be able to pick and choose. Many of these will be standard, such as the hands-free navigation, Sirius satellite, those features, but the other ones they'll be able to pick and choose what best meets their needs.
Now, today's version of Lincoln MKT, it features what they call bridge of rear leather seats, and it has extremely comfortable seating. Now, what has Lincoln done to the rear seating of the MKT Town Car to make it more suitable for livery?
Well, and that thanks, because that's probably the best. The second row seating on the Town Car, or on the MKT Town Car, was just rated by end user customers extremely well, just far exceeds that. And one of the items that we did, we're not offering a stretched version, but what we were able to do is take the second row seat on the livery version and move it back more. We will have recline features. It's very, very comfortable. The seating will be completely unique with unique headrest, higher up, It has an outstanding second-row package. And then the amenities for the drivers or for the passengers in terms of, again, the Wi-Fi capability, the rear air heat units, heat ventilation system, controls for radio controls. So they really, to them, that was the best feature of anything, was the second row and everything that we're offering the end user customers.
Now, with the Lincoln MKT, it actually has more cargo space than the Lincoln Town Car. It has about 39 cubic feet versus the Town Car's 20. Now, during the testing of this product with the advisory aboard, did you place items like hard golf cases, luggage in the rear compartment to test it out? And by placing those items in the back, how does it compare to the Town Car?
You know, yes, we did. We did do that there. Obviously, one of the elements that we took a look at also was the spare tire capabilities, too, because we wanted to be able to package a full-size spare in the vehicle, too. So there were many things that we went through, and while we did that with the luggage compartment, one of the items that we have learned, and I'm going to use this because I'm involved with police and taxi also, is that these industries have a way of adapting to different vehicle styles, if you know what I mean. So while we did that, during the discussions, many people would say, you know what, if I were to do it, I would put a flat floor back here, or I would do this, or I might put these types of luggage containment areas back here. So what we basically did was we're offering them significantly more space, and what we'll continue to do is work with modifiers or the industry to come up with ways that how do we, besides offering, you know, the larger luggage space, how can we make it more conducive to handling the luggage that they're required to carry? So that's something that will continue to evolve as we're in the development of the product.
Okay, great. Gerry, we got our first caller on the line. He's from the 516 area code. Caller, who is welcome to the Limo Show.
Hey, David, Douglas Schwartz. I'm struggling with my telephone a little bit. I hope you can hear me clearly.
No problem. We can hear you fine. Gerry, can you hear him?
I can hear him just perfect.
Perfect.
Okay,
Doug, what's on your mind?
I've been following along the show and listening, and, you know, a lot of talk about the MKT. I want you to know that in the New York area we embrace it, and we actually can't wait to get our hands on it. You know, we're not going to purchase any more of the old town cars, and we look forward to putting it in our fleet.
Yeah,
well,
I think. What do you like the most about it, Doug? Sorry about that, Gerry.
No, go right ahead.
You know, I think I'll give you my opinion of what I think. I think that seeing the old town car go away is no different than it was, you know, at the end of the '97 body style change. And look how we got 13, good years out of this platform. I think the car today is just a dinosaur. It's the same car it was in 1998. You know, we don't have any of the features of the amenities, that are available in automobiles. And if you look around, people are driving crossovers. So it's not like the clients are not going to be used to it. You know, my only concern is the platform going to be able to do the 300,000 miles that we like to put on the town cars. But, from what you guys are saying, it sounds like it's going to go that way. So I think that possibly we'll be okay. But as far as, the looks of the vehicle and the functionality of the vehicle, I believe the clients are used to those vehicles.
And you're exactly right, and thank you for the call, because if you've been at any of the meetings or that, one of the slides that I put up there was the migration from traditional luxury sedans to crossover type vehicles. And back in, the 80s, sedans were the traditional type luxury vehicles. But that has completely changed, and they now represent a very small percentage of luxury products, while crossovers have increased significantly. And when we did the research with the end user customers, that was borne out very much in the research, where in virtually every category, including appearance, they rated the MKT Town Car significantly higher than the sedan Town Car.
Well, is that what we're going to call? Are we going to call it the MKT? Are we going to call it the MKT Town Car? Is that what it's going to be called?
That is the plan. It will be badged MKT, but the nameplate, well, the vehicle will be called MKT, but the nameplate, just like Lincoln has, or we have vehicles like XLT or SE or SEL or Premier, this one is going to be MKT, and the nameplate, instead of being SEL or Executive, will be Town Car.
Right. Okay.
Hey, Doug, thank you for coming on the show. We greatly appreciate your input. Now, Gerry, before we go, and we're on overtime right now with the Limo Show on Blog Talk Radio, when will the order banks open for the Lincoln MKT Town Car? When will we as a dealer be able to order these vehicles?
I don't have a definite time right now. We are finalizing all of the specifications and the requirements. I guess I'm going to say it would probably be probably mid to late third quarter is what we'd be looking at. So probably the late summer. We'll continue to go to the shows and talk to people, and we might have more information to share at those. But it does require us, we have to finalize all of the, what I'm going to call the engineering specifications, which we're very close on. That has to be done before we can launch the ordering process out there. So. And then
production will start in March of 2012?
First quarter of 2012.
Okay. Now, there's a couple of things that you and I talked about today, and I just want to ask you. I mentioned this before as far as perceptions. There are people out there that perceive the Town Car as a caravan-like vehicle or not luxurious. There are some people out there that they just, like I said, because of the fear of the unknown, they're coming up with all different sorts of thoughts. How would you? Is there anything you'd like to say to those people out there that maybe are on the fence and not sure which way to go when this transition occurs?
I completely understand why individuals would be that way. So number one, I am not going to criticize or say anything negative, because change is difficult in an industry where we've had vehicles out there for so many years. The one thing I will point out is that, as I said earlier, none of our decisions was made based on just Ford Motor Company looking at the product. We went out there and engaged the operators, the drivers, end user customers, and we said, what do you think? Are you good with the styling? Do you like what the exterior is like? Do you like the interior? Sit in the driver's compartment. How does that feel? What do you think? What do you think of the technology? And I have research to back up that says the customers, and I put all three categories, drivers, operators, and end users, came back and overwhelmingly said they preferred the MKT Town Car over the traditional Town Car sedan.
Can you share the response that you mentioned earlier? You mentioned there was a former pro football player. I don't know if you can use his name or not.
Yeah.
But can you share his thoughts?
Yeah, I won't use his name on here, but yes, one of them that we were at an event, and it was with individuals who utilize livery products or limo products extensively. And one of them was a player, actually, Super Bowl, probably MVP or whatever, definitely all-pro, with a New York team. And I saw him there, so I took him on immediately. And I will admit, his first reaction was, oh, my goodness, that's so different. Obviously, being a football player, he was a very large individual. And he sat there, and when he got into the back seat, and this goes back to the seating positions of the vehicle, his comment to me at the end, and he showed me, he goes, when I sit in the sedan, the Town Car sedan, I sit there and I have to fall in the vehicle, and then I have to pull myself out. This one here, I just have to glide in and glide out of the vehicle because, again, the command seating position, the seats are raised. He said this
I noticed that at the show. I noticed it for sure.
Yeah.
I noticed it definitely when I was at the show. It was much easier to get in and out.
And the large percentage, over 2/3 of the customers sat there and said that after they experienced the MKT Town Car, they preferred that much more than the sedan version for those reasons.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I love the vehicle. I think the vehicle is going to be successful in the limo industry. Gerry, thank you for being our guest. We greatly appreciate you coming on the Limo Show and sharing your thoughts about the MKT and the MKT Town Car and taking a call. Is there anything else you'd like to add before you go?
No, I just, again, this is an industry, that we truly love. We've been we've had a leadership position in the industry, and the question came up as we were migrating is this an industry that we should stay in? And the decision by our management team and internally was, it's an industry that we've had the leadership position. We love the industry. We love the relationships we have with our customers, and we definitely want to be with it and continue that relationship long term.
Well, thank you again, Gerry. And thank you again, listeners, for listening to this version of the Limo Show presented by Towne Livery on Blog Talk Radio. Now, we appreciate the time that Gerry's taken and the listeners have taken to listen to the program. The Limo Show will be coming to you just about each week. We're going to try to make it each week. So we encourage you to tune in and listen. Have a wonderful week, and I look forward to speaking with you next week on the next edition of the Limo Show. Good night.